The animals on Farmer Giles's farm were feeling a bit stuck. Every day was the same old thing. Moo, baa, cluck, oink. The grass was always green, the mud was always muddy. Then Henrietta the hen found a colorful leaflet. It had pictures of tall buildings and shiny cars. "Come to the city!" it declared in big bold letters. "New opportunities await." The animals chattered excitedly. A city, so different from their quiet fields. They decided it was time for a grand adventure. A move to the bustling city sounded just perfect for a change. Packing was quite an event on the farm. Percy the pig insisted on bringing his favorite mud puddle. He tried to scoop it into a bucket. Of course, that did not work very well. Daisy the cow carefully polished her best bell. She wanted to look smart in the big city. The sheep knitted tiny travel sweaters for everyone. They thought the city might be cold with all those tall buildings blocking the sun. Farmer Giles just scratched his head and smiled. "Well, I'll be," he said. "Good luck to you all then." He waved them off with a chuckle. Their first sight of the city was astonishing. Buildings scraped the sky like giant metal trees. Cars zoomed past like angry beetles. Honk! Beep! So many new sounds and smells filled the air. It was a lot to take in for creatures used to gentle breezes and the crow of a rooster. Peggy the goat tried to eat a parking meter. She thought it looked like a strange metallic lollipop. Reginald the rooster attempted to direct traffic with his loudest cock-a-doodle-doo. Drivers just looked very confused by the feathered traffic controller. It was a very overwhelming welcome. Adjusting to city life was their first big challenge. The noise was constant, day and night. Not like the peaceful quiet of the farm after sunset. Finding a place to sleep was also tricky. Where does a cow sleep in a city full of concrete? They couldn't just lie down in a field. Eventually they found an old, abandoned warehouse. It was a bit dusty, but it was big. It felt a little like a very large barn. They huddled together, feeling a mix of excitement and a tiny bit of homesickness for their comfortable farm. Soon it was time to find jobs. The city leaflet promised many opportunities. Daisy the cow saw an advert. Barista wanted, must love milk. Daisy thought, I make the best milk. So she applied. The coffee shop owner was surprised. A cow barista? But Daisy showed him her creamy milk. He hired her on the spot. She wore a little apron. She learned to use the big steaming coffee machine. Moochas and lattes became her specialty. Customers were very curious to see a cow making their morning coffee. Clucky the chicken, being small and quick, decided to become a mail carrier. She got a tiny blue hat and a small mailbag. She thought delivering letters would be easy. Just pop them into letter boxes. But city streets were confusing, so many turns and similar-looking doors. Sometimes she got a little lost. Sometimes, a cheeky cat would try to chase her, but Clucky was determined. She flapped her wings and ran very fast. She wanted to be the best feathered post hen in the entire city. Percy the pig, with his excellent sense of smell, found a job in a bakery. Not eating the bread, though he was tempted. He was a dough sniffer. He could tell if the dough was just right for baking. His nose was very talented. He would oink happily when the yeast was perfect. The baker trusted Percy's sniffs more than any timer. Percy also enjoyed taste testing the broken cookies. That was a secret perk of his very important job. He always had a little flour on his snout. Even Bartholomew the sheep found his calling. He became a professional pillow tester. Yes, such a job existed in the big city. He would lie on fluffy pillows in a department store. He would rate their softness and bounce. Brilliant, he would declare for the best ones. Or needs more fluff, for others. People trusted a sheep's opinion on comfort. He spent his days dreaming on the job. It was a tough life, but someone had to do it. The other animals thought he had the best job of all. City work had its funny moments. Daisy the cow, as a barista, sometimes forgot how big she was. Swish went her tail. Crash went a tower of paper cups. Moops, she would say, her big eyes full of apology. Customers usually giggled. They didn't mind too much. Her coffee was extra fresh, after all. One time, she accidentally made a coffee with hay in it. The customer, a horse cab driver, said it was the best he ever had. So she started a new specialty drink. Clucky the male chicken faced daily challenges. Pigeons thought her mailbag was full of birdseed. They would often try to peek inside. She had to shoo them away with a stern cluck. One day she delivered a very important letter to the mayor. But a gust of wind blew it right out of her beak. It landed in a fountain. Clucky bravely waded in to rescue it. The mayor was very impressed with her dedication, even if the letter was a bit soggy. He gave her a tiny waterproof cape. Percy the pig, the dough sniffer, had a mishap too. One afternoon he fell asleep next to a warm batch of rising dough. When he woke up, he was covered in it. He looked like a giant sticky marshmallow pig. The bakers laughed so hard. Percy just oinked and tried to shake it off. Dough flew everywhere. It took 3 bakers and a lot of water to get him clean. He smelled like fresh bread for a week. He didn't mind that part too much. The goats, Gilda and Gary, became park maintenance assistants. They were supposed to trim the grass, but they often got distracted. They nibbled on the pretty flowers. They climbed the statues for a better view. One time, Gary ate the map of the park. The park keeper just sighed. "Oh, you goats," he would say, but he couldn't stay mad. They were very enthusiastic, even if they redefined maintenance a little. Their happy bleats made the park a cheerier place for everyone. The city people were very surprised at first. A cow serving coffee, a pig working in a bakery. It was not something you saw every day. Some people pointed, some people whispered, "Is that a real chicken delivering our mail?" they would ask. Little children, however, were delighted. They loved seeing the animals. They would bring carrots for Daisy. They would try to pat Percy's flowery snout. The animals made the city feel like a storybook. Slowly, the city folk got used to their new animal workers. They began to appreciate their unique skills. Daisy's coffee was always fresh and creamy. Clucky was surprisingly fast at weaving through traffic jams. Percy's nose for dough ensured the best bread in town. Bartholomew the sheep's pillow recommendations were always spot on. The animals brought smiles and a bit of charming chaos. The city became a little less gray, a little more colorful and fun for everyone. The animals learned many new things too. Daisy mastered the art of making foam hearts on her cappuccinos. Clucky learned all the city shortcuts. Percy discovered that pizza crusts left near bins were almost as good as farm slop. The goats learned that the park keeper's prize-winning roses were definitely off-limits most of the time. They found their rhythm in the big, noisy city. They made new friends, both animal and human. The city was their new home now. In the end, perhaps the city was not so different from the farm. Both places were busy. Both had their routines and their surprises. Both needed hard workers, whether they had 2 legs or 4. The animals brought a touch of the countryside's simple charm to the urban hustle, and the city folk learned that a friendly moo or a happy oink could brighten anyone's day. Life in the city became a wonderful, peculiar, and utterly fantastic adventure for all.